Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Big Ben and Friends podcast. I am your host, Big Ben Ortmanns, and this week, I said this week like there was a last week or even like a week before. I guess I could say this is the comeback episode. Hopefully, if I don't lose interest and the world doesn't fucking start to crash and crumble again and I don't feel like talking about anything. But anyway, we're back. Podcast is back, and today on this episode, I've got one of my closest friends, and to be honest with you, he was also the first person to ever do an episode of this podcast, but it was just one that we didn't air because we did like a pilot episode, and just to kind of see if it was going to suck or not. And thankfully, we didn't think that it sucked, and so here we are, and we're doing a real one. And
here we are.
Yeah, fuck yeah, we made it. And
yeah,
this dude here is, like I said, he's one of my closest buddies, and he's a guy that once I knew who he was, I became an instant fan of immediately. I knew just, especially at the time that I found out who he was, I knew that he was a Border City guy, and immediately that gives you a very valid stamp, especially back then. And so I was genuinely drawn to him already. I watched him work. I realized how good he actually was. And he was just a dude that I always kept tabs on. And then thankfully, and I'm sure this might be something that we end up talking about during the podcast today, but thankfully he's a guy that we ended up finally like getting to meet up with down the road and get to actually like share locker rooms with and share a lot of time with. And we became very close friends. And since then, he's done some very cool things, and I got to be with him for some very cool moments, especially the one that I'm really looking forward to talking with him about later, which I think is one of the best live matches I've ever seen in pro wrestling, which was him versus Jake Christ for the X Division Championship at Impact Wrestling in Windsor. And he's one of the best dudes that you're just going to find all around. He's a good-hearted dude. He's a guy that's going to take a lot of time to work with young talent when he gets to shows. He's just that guy that spends the extra time with the boys. He's just that guy that you look forward to seeing every time that you show up and realize that you're on the same card with him. I think we're on episode 21. I'm not even counting anymore, but ladies and gentlemen, my buddy AidenPrince. How you doing, pal?
Brother, thank you so much. Thank you, man. Thank you. Great intro.
I was about to ask how you're doing, but you made yourself a little Facebook post today that would literally state the exact opposite if you're going to give me the same bullshit. Oh, I'm doing good, man. You know, just fucking sitting here on the couch chilling with some Timneys. And so what's going on with you?
I had to put it out there today. Obviously, the old COVID-19 got me, so I'm stuck up in the house right now. I'm feeling a lot better than I was, but I'm stuck up in the house right now, dealing with that. So yeah,
that sucks. I mean, I know that you've been kind of feeling a little bit shitty over the last like week or so, just because we've been just chatting and keeping in touch and doing what friends do and whatever. But so what's it? I guess I kind of have to ask, like, I guess I know a lot of answers to these questions because we've already talked about it, but I mean, I'm going to ask from somebody who may not know somebody who actually has this. So,
right.
How did you even start to consider like, oh shit, like this is something that I might have, like, or was it just something that you found out accidentally just trying to get a test? Or
the biggest thing is I was going to do some traveling. So I went to get a test. And then it was actually like a few days after the test, I was chilling at my house. I went to grab something out of the fridge, just like a little thing of boiled eggs. And I realized when I took the lid off the boiled eggs, I couldn't smell anything. And I mean, I had already had like a little scratch in my throat, like nothing serious, but like it was like a little scratch in my throat. But then when I didn't smell anything, I knew something was scary. You know what I mean? So I stayed away from everybody, waited for the test. And when I got the test, Christmas night of all times, I fucking got the shit. So, yeah.
So how you feeling? Like, I mean, is it,
if I'm being 100% honest, like to the last 2 days, 3 days, like I feel almost 100% fine. I'm exhausted. Like I'm really tired, and it made me drop quite a bit of weight, but like, honestly, like I don't think I had it as bad as some people get it. So I'm very blessed with, you know, the little bit of BS that I'm dealing with, you know.
So you've definitely found that being in good health is obviously, you know, something that's worked to your advantage on this.
I think so. I think I definitely think me having good cardio and stuff like that has helped, because I didn't have too much of the lung shit that that you read about and stuff like that. But definitely like the sweating and the like, it sucks the life out of you. Like, you guys know me, you know me. I'm usually like a pretty, you know, energetic guy, and it just like I couldn't get off the couch, man. It takes the life out of you.
And how long did you feel that for? Like, was that just something that kind of was there for?
That there was only like a 3-day span of it being like really bad. Like, it was like really bad. Like, I was waking up like shivering and shit. Like, it was shitty. And I just like, I had no appetite. So there's like I had to like tell myself in my brain, like, make sure you're eating, because like your body's not telling you you're hungry. Like, it was just like it's a very strange feeling. And the smell thing, like today my smell's coming back like ish.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't smell like anything at all. Like it was a very strange, like peanut butter. Like, I had my nose, I opened a bottle of whiskey and I took like a huge whiff of this. You could not smell anything. Like, it was a very strange feeling.
Now, right before we hit record, you mentioned that you did encounter a bit of good news and that you were able to smell, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but what was it?
Yeah, this morning, like, well, last night, my mom had dropped a candle off at the door for me, like, just because I like to chill with a candle and just whatever, you know, and I couldn't smell it at all. And it's like some apple cinnamon thing. So I probably should be able to smell that. And yeah, it was nothing last night. And then this morning, I can faintly smell the candle a bit. So I mean, I hope that means it's coming back, you know? So
I feel like that means that you should go directly to the whiskey jar, because if you can smell,
yeah, really, eh?
Because I feel like if you can, you never know. If you can get that glimpse of a candle, I feel like a smidge bit of alcohol might clean you right up.
The whiskey might wake me right back up, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
so,
man.
I mean, I guess that whole process, like where you're feeling sick, lasted for what, like just a couple days, I suppose.
Yeah, it was really just like a few days of it being really bad, like the serious part of things. But yeah, like I know I didn't get it as bad as some of the stuff you read about and stuff that like I've seen, you know what I mean? But yeah, it definitely sucks. And it does wake you up, right? Like, it's that it is way more serious than a lot of people take it. That's for sure.
I guess I got to ask this part too then. So like, what about it sucked? Like, because what was it? Did it feel like a normal flu, or does it feel like a normal flu? Is it?
No, like that's the thing. Like, it felt almost more like weird, because it would go and go. Like, it would, like, I would wake up and be like, hey, like, I'm feeling better. Like, I don't have this. Like, I feel good today. Mm-hmm. But then like you'd go to bed, and then like all of a sudden it would hit me. Like, it would like you'd go from like 0 to 100. Like, I'd be chilling fine, playing on my phone, like just having whatever, to I'm talking like, oh my God, I can't move. Like, it was just like, yeah, it was just very strange. So yeah, you definitely like feel a certain kind of like this isn't the flu, like something's weird. Like, it's just, yeah, it's hard to explain. And the smell thing is that's the weirdest thing ever. You're like coffee, like anything, just not and the taste thing, like,
that was going to be my next question. Yeah. So like, what about taste wise?
So taste wise, I only had that for like a day. Like that wasn't even like too bad. But like, you can
at least enjoy your coffee then, right?
Yes. So that part of it was good, you know,
that's
yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah.
Little victories.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
So what do you, I guess since you got it I mean, you got COVID for Christmas.
The man is right.
Kind of an odd way to look at it, but
it's true though.
Mm-hmm. I guess for other people who might not know, I mean, because weirdly enough, we've kind of spent our Christmas together this year, pretty much video chat. But like, what have you really been up to since all of this stuff? Because like, obviously you're quarantining and whatnot. So like, what are you doing to keep sane other than video chatting me?
Dude, like I've just been like, I have like a little circle here. Like I have my laptop here. I have my PlayStation here. I'm hanging out at my little sister's place. She's gone away right now. So I'm stuck up in here for like 14 days. And I got just me and her cat, basically.
So one thing that we need to talk about, because
yes,
I'm going to stay on you about this, because I was on you about this the moment that you told me about this idea. And now that you're quarantined and that you've got your little your little circle going on there.
Dude, it's literally a circle. I have candy and pop and a bunch of things I probably shouldn't be eating.
It's Princey's circle of life. It's essentially what it is. But now that you've got that, you've got all this time, I genuinely think that now is the time for you to move forward, because you had this really wonderful idea. Now, I'm just going to talk about it briefly, because I want you to actually really talk about this, because I think that this was a really cool idea. But I remember you were hanging out at my apartment the one day, and you had brought your PlayStation with you, and you were just going through and showing me all these different like creator wrestlers that you had made. And they were all like of us, like they were all your buddies. They were all your, it was kind of like the Ontario indie wrestling circuit. It was kind of like the crossbody roster. Actually, I guess that's kind of what it was. It was weirdly the crossbody roster, and then like your friends, and then it was like this weird little blend of like your buds. And then next thing you know, you started telling me about this project that you wanted to do that involved kind of starting a season, sort of the way that Xavier Woods does their Battle of the Brands thing, but with us.
Right.
So why haven't you done this? And tell me more about it.
So basically, as a lot of people know, I do graphic design stuff, right? So years ago, I figured out, I can, piece together as tons of people on the internet do. You can piece together pictures and things like that and make your friends in the video games, So when I was hanging out with you, we're having a couple drinks, whatever, I start creating characters and end up making all of Ontario, and it's a good time. But I always thought, with everything being shut down and things like that, if we had pretty much a promotion with this, with these characters, and I made posters and things like that, I could probably run little like online shows, and I've always wanted a Twitch channel and stuff, and it's just, I think it's one of those things I just need to pull the trigger on, basically, right? Like,
so everybody that's watching or listening to this, his Instagram and all of his Twitters and stuff like that, it's real easy. It's just at AidenPrince, all one word. I don't think there's any underscores or any numbers or flippy shit or no flippy shit in there.
No.
It's just at AidenPrince. Tell him this, bother him, because this is something that I want to see. And I don't even give a shit if he uses me I just think that is a great idea. And it's especially we're in lockdown right now. The whole province is.
Yeah.
We need some content to watch. I'm at home on a random ass Monday.
I'm talking too. I think I've done it with Albright now. I don't think I've dug this far in with like everybody else, but I sat there and I went through like YouTube stuff. Like every one of these characters has like their moves. Like I got their moves like down and stuff. So even like there's times I'm sitting here and I'll just simulate matches. Because if you watch the matches, like the mix up and stuff is hilarious, because like the actual moves are in there and stuff. Like something's hitting black hole slams and shit. Like it's crazy, man.
And the most jack guy in the game still.
The biggest part of the problem is the game being so shit. Like 2K20 really dropped the ball there. So, but hopefully
but would it still be sustainable? Cause like, I don't know. I haven't played a wrestling game in forever, and I feel bad because Brady's literally got
a lot of it is people telling me to just do it in 2K19, but they don't realize that I've already invested, way too more time than I'd like to admit into these these characters in the 2K20 game. So it's, you know.
But like what people don't understand though is like you've got a company, like you've got a name, you've got belts, like you've got
I've like belts
shebang.
and all. Like I've go too far into these things, like even down to their gear. Like I like actually like cut out Jake's like actual logo on his tights, and like, yeah, it's crazy.
I remember the day that you were making Madman Fulton in my apartment, and you're just like, man, I really wish that like I could do his gear justice. And I was just like, well, what do you need? And you're like, man, I would just need a clear copy of his gear. So I messaged him, and he immediately sends these high quality pictures of his gear. And next thing you know, Princey puts them on there and gives him his fucking custom. And it was this brand new stuff that he was like just about to like debut on pay-per-view like days later
on TV. Yeah.
Which is amazing. But
see, that's cool.
But again, like that's stuff that like you're really good at. I mean, one of the questions that I actually that was sent to me when because I put a little thing out there today on social media, just trying to be a little bit different and trying to switch the format up a little bit, I suppose, and figured I'd announce that I got my buddy Princey on the show, and hey, if you got any questions, feel free to ask him. But one of them was about your graphic design, and a lot of people don't. I feel like a good amount of people do know, but I also feel like a lot of people don't know that you are a graphic designer and that you're a very talented graphic designer. Like to the point where like you've done a lot of our t-shirts for the pro wrestling tees. You've done a lot of work for Impact Wrestling. You basically did all of the graphic work for Border City Wrestling. There's a lot of graphic stuff that people will have 100% have seen your work and just not realize it, because how the fuck would you to begin with? You know,
right?
You know what I mean? So like that's one thing I kind of wanted to ask you about too, because I don't even know if I know this, but like, how did you get started in that?
It's funny. When I was younger, I was into collecting computers and stuff. Like I'm talking when I was really young. So if I was like walking down the street and I saw an old tower or anything like that, I would bring these freaking things home, and I was like trying to put them together and stuff. So
how did you know how the hell they work though?
My dad was into computers. I remember when I was like really little, he had a Commodore, and it was like the huge floppy disks. Yeah, man. I'm an old guy.
Did you have to dust off saying that fucking name?
Dude,
Holy.
you know who is calling me right now?
No.
Freaking Lil Blay is calling me right now.
Lil Blay.
I wish I could answer it with you, but I'm gonna have to decline that. Sorry, Lil Blay. I will call you back, Lil Blay. I'm sorry.
I haven't talked to him in a while. I hope he's doing well.
That's crazy. Sorry,
he had a bit of a rough go there for a bit.
Yeah, man. Poor Lil Blay. But anyways.
Yeah. Sorry, continue. Graphic design.
But
you're ripping apart Commodore.
Yes. So my dad had a Commodore. Yes.
Commodore 64.
Yes. Commodore 64. So then that turned into like the old Windows 95 computers. I would like get those all the time, you know. But then I remember when I think it was like a Windows 98 or something like that. It had paint on it. So yeah, so I would figure out that I had this like really old scanner. It was like a really old scanner. And I figured out that you could scan my WWF magazines, and then I could like erase around them in paint can, and I would put like, you know, Goldberg versus Stone Cold, or I would put like the Undertaker versus whoever. Like I would make my own like posters basically, or I would make my own magazine articles and stuff is what I like to do really. Yeah. So that's kind of where it really started for me, was like making my own stuff like that, or
just
I would
recreating old WWF magazine covers and stuff.
Or I would like write out wrestlers' names. Like I love telling this story. Like I learned how to spell based on wrestlers' names. So like, yes. So like I could read and write like wrestlers' names before I could read and write like other words and stuff.
That oddly makes sense to me. I don't know why.
Yeah. Like that's how I really learned how to whatever. And like, I have like really neat writing and stuff. And it's because as a kid, I just used to like writing down like wrestling moves or like wrestling names or stuff like that. But yeah, like that's basically where like my design stuff started was when I was a kid on paint can. And then over time I learned what fireworks was. And then I remember making backyard wrestling posters and stuff. And then that translated to pro wrestling posters, which just has kind of snowballed into, yeah.
So you've been doing this stuff for basically since these programs have came out. Like,
yeah.
You've been kind of dinking around with them.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because one of the first ways I got that idea was because I would go to Border City shows when I was a little kid. My dad would bring me. Mm-hmm. And I saw that their posters were made by, you could tell that they cut out the pictures and then they stuck them on with like tape and then they photocopied it. So I seen that's how they made their posters. So I would make my own like that. And then I would scan it in the scanner and then copy it. And I would have like the poster. It's funny, years later, it's freaking Jeffrey Scott and James that were making these posters. So it's like it's crazy how it all just,
Yeah. No, that's wild.
Nuts,
so out of curiosity, do you have, cause I think you do you have a Facebook, like a page or something like that for your Michael Lopaz graphics designs, or that people can
I do. To be honest, like I haven't updated it in like forever, but yeah, you can see some of my work at Michael Lopaz Design. It's on Facebook for sure. Yeah.
And if you're I don't care if you're in wrestling, I don't care if you're like a musician, whatever. Like, I mean, if you're a dude looking for a logo, if you're a dude looking for whatever, like he's a guy to get in touch with. Like I've got two people that have ever done like graphic design work for me. And, you know, Matt Grant's been my OG ever since we ever started the wrestling school. So he's been a dude that without him, I don't know where the fuck we would have had some real shitty stuff. Cause you and me didn't really become close until probably until like 2 years ago or so. I would say.
And people don't realize, man, that matters. If you're like, I see Von Vertigo say this all the time, you know, it's like, if you're take your promotion serious and you really take it serious, then, you know, graphic work and your production value really matters, you know? So, I mean, hit a guy up like me or Matt or, you know, Vertigo, you know, somebody that knows their shit. Cause it sucks. Even as a wrestler, it sucks when you're on a poster or whatever that you really can't be proud of sharing and stuff. It's like invest that little bit in your promotion, because that's going to come around like tenfold for sure.
Well, it's certainly also like, it's weird. Cause I mean, I know that people are like, well, they might think that it's like this extraordinary cost, but when you really sit and do the math, I mean, it is a very, very worthwhile investment. Excuse me.
Yes.
And it's certainly not as bad as people think.
I will say. Yeah. And I will say there is people that charge way too much and stuff like that. So it's ask around and make sure that, you know, you're finding a fair thing, you know, but you can definitely always do a little better. And I hate to admit it, but nowadays, you know, there's apps and stuff that can, you know, make better posters and stuff like that than some of the stuff that you see out there. So it's just, it makes your promotion way better to, you know, at least look half decent.
Also true. And I mean, hey, if people want to do that, by all means. Me personally, I just like to support in-house, I guess you could say. I'm a support local kind of guy, and local is my friends. So I mean, my production staff, my graphic team, like everything that we do is all in-house. And if I could recommend to anybody else, do the same. Because again, and if anybody wants to see his work, go to prowrestlingtees.com/CBPW Academy or /AidenPrince and get yourself some fucking t-shirts. Christ, there's one thing I wanted to ask you about, which is going to be, I guess, the little dip and bummer of the day. But when we started the show off with a graphic for Brody Lee, and I don't know about you, but I mean, at the moment it's Monday, 1:46 p.m. for anybody that's watching this and wondering when we're filming this. And I'm pretty sure it was Saturday night that he passed. And it still, to me, doesn't feel real. Like it doesn't, and I know that sounds kind of like I don't know, maybe like I'm looking for sympathy or something like that by saying that, but it's really not. And, you know, he's one of those dudes that I genuinely think that when you see all these posts, like I think he did touch everybody. Like, I mean, I can't think of ever hearing one bad word said about him. Can you?
No. You can tell, and you can tell in an interview or anything when you hear somebody talk. You can tell if someone's faking passion or if they're just playing it up for the camera, you know. And you can tell the guy he really loved wrestling. He really loved his family, and you could tell he wanted to give back to young guys too. Tony actually, Gurjinder Singh, just posted a thing. He once inboxed him on Twitter and he replied to him, you know, just little things like that, replying to a young guy that, you know, you probably don't know very well or anything like that. He took his time to reply to Tony and stuff like that. So that's, you can tell when someone has a genuine love for the business and a genuine love for his family and things like that. So a guy like that is who I hope, you know, like, you know, when my time comes that I look up to a guy like that. It's like he's remembered for being that, you know. There's not a bad thing said about him. He's genuinely a good dude, and that's, you know, I think a lot of guys should strive to be that, if that makes sense. Did you
ever share a locker room with him?
I didn't. I think
really?
Actually, yes. I honestly, you know what? There was one show, and it was actually one of my first matches in Michigan, and I'm pretty sure he was one of the guys in the locker room. On that show, but I don't know for sure. But no, I did hear amazing things about him and stuff, and I was always a huge fan of his stuff. I mean, I remember looking at him and going like, dude, it looks like Bruiser Brody in a way. So it's and like I said, like I just watched some of his interviews last night and stuff, and you can tell that he wasn't faking it. It wasn't for the camera. He was a passionate guy. So
I had heard of Brody Lee, but I didn't really know. Excuse me. I didn't really I back when we first started out, I mean, it's kind of weird to say this, but like we were still finding out what the internet wrestling kind of was at that point. Right. So I remember UWA hardcore in out of Toronto was a big thing with like this really niche audience. And it was a style that I grew to dislike, even though I had never seen it, just because the people that taught me the business had always taught me to not like that next level of thinking. And, right. You know, so I guess it was kind of beaten into me. And then, so I never gave it a chance. And then, oddly enough, I can't remember what it was that sold me. I can't remember if it was just the fact that it was their last show or whatnot. But the show that I ended up going to check out for the first time ever happened to be their last ever show. And the opening match was Brody Lee versus I think Jimmy Olsen. It was the Olsen brother that wasn't Colin Delaney.
Okay.
And I think they did about 10 minutes. And I distinctly remember that up until then, there had only ever been one person at an independent show where I'd seen them for the first time. And I was just like, how is this person not on my TV every week, first of all? And this guy is going to be on my TV every week. Like, I'm rooting for this guy.
Yeah.
The first one was Eric Young. I was just blown away the moment I saw him.
Yeah.
And then second was Brody. And I just knew that there was something special about him right away. And I got to chat with him a little bit after his match. And I told him, I was just like, hey, listen, like, I know that we don't know one another. And I know that this probably means absolutely fucking zero to you, but I feel like that you should be on, like, this is, I basically said to him what I just said here. Right.
Right.
And he was very, very thankful for it and yada, yada, yada. He was super cool. Now, fast forward to the next time I saw him. I didn't see him again until my first time being an extra for the WWE. So my first time I'm ever doing extra work there, I happened to get put into his segment. So I'm, nervous because it's my first time there, and I've got something to do, and I get to do it with Brody Lee. And even though I knew that it was we were there to take care of the New Day and stuff like that, which I thought was super cool. I'm not going to lie. What made me nervous was I was just like, holy shit. I get to do I get to be on WWE TV with Brody Lee. This is just super fucking cool for me. Right.
Yeah.
So I ran into him during the day, and I was just like, hey man. And he's just like, hey. And I was like, I don't know if you remember me, blah, 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 blah. But this is when I met you. And he actually vaguely remembered. And then he just ended up sitting there shooting the shit with me for about an hour in the afternoon. And he was cool. he was super cool. Obviously he wanted me to be comfortable. I'm going to be in his segment. Right. So yeah. I don't know if it was just I still don't know because I never asked him afterwards. And, but the spot that I was supposed to do is I was supposed to run down the ramp, and I was supposed to hang a left, and I was supposed to run around the ring, and I was supposed to go to take care of Big E at the announce table that he had just been put through. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly.
Right.
But as we were about to leave, fucking Ortmanns Shyster yells at us. He's just like, hey, listen, if you guys are doctors, so don't just run to your target. You're not going to run over. If you run and you get there and you see a man, fucking just go for him, because that's what a doctor would do. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Thanks, Mr. Ortmanns Shyster. And then
IRS Repo Man for the save.
So I'm running down, and as I'm running down, have you done extra work before?
No, unfortunately not, man.
Okay. So I'm sure everybody does this, but your first time when you peek through the curtain and you kind of see it's all, I can almost explain it it's like a child being born. This is just really weird, holy fuck. And as you're running, you're just like, oh my God, please don't fucking trip down this goddamn ramp. Right.
Yeah.
I get down to the ramp, I go to make my Louis, and fucking Brody just locks eyes with me, and he gets in my way. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And as I lock him in the eye, he's giving me this look, this real Iggy of a look. And he starts walking me down. And I was just like, oh, I get what he's doing. And then I start selling for him, and I start going the other way. And I'm trying to go as slow as I can, because I'm like, oh, Brody's trying to get me some TV time.
Right.
Thanks,
That's
man.
Sick.
Yeah, because I wasn't supposed to get any. I was supposed to be the schlub off to the side,
Right.
So
he's run over it.
Yeah. So he stops me, and he gives me the Iggy. And as I'm backing away, he even winks at me, and I'm just like, thanks, man. And I go to my right, and then I ended up dealing with Kofi, and then
that's pretty sick.
Yeah. But and even when we got to the back afterwards, everybody from the match was embracing and doing the whole, shaking hands, saying thanks and stuff like that. And he even came up to me, and he gave me a hug, and he's just and I was like, hey man, thank you very much for that. And he just looked at me, and he gave me a wink, and that was it. And he just walked off. And I was just like,
good dude.
He fucking did that on purpose. And that's fucking really cool.
That's pretty sick, man. That's a good story right there.
Yeah, he's that's why every story that I hear, I'm not surprised, because I've literally met Brody twice,
Yeah. And there was cool moments both times. Yeah.
He had no business to take care of me.
Right.
There was
nice dude.
Yeah, he had no reason to. I'm not gonna lie, I thought for sure that you guys would have at least crossed paths.
I wish, man. I wish. There's those dudes that it's you see and you're like, man, that'd be a good match, if I got to ever have that opportunity, you know what I mean? It sucks when a guy passes and that opportunity can't happen,
So I guess speaking of which, because we're calling this whole fucking podcast on the fly right now, matches that you want to have. I mean, obviously we're in a bit of a weird time,
strange times, man.
And I know, and I know that even asking this question is stupid. Because to be perfectly honest with you, it's getting to the point where like it's driving me nuts when people are asking me like, hey, so what are we going to do when we come back? And I'm like, you guys have no idea. Like I've tried to come back. I've tried to come back like 3 times.
Yeah.
And
it's hard, man. Yeah.
And the thing is like, I'm not disputing how anybody else is doing their shows and stuff like that. But like, I deal very, very diligently with the local and our provincial health officials. And I literally run every idea that we have that we try to move forward with past them. So they fucking shut us down, man. Like they shut that
dude,
shit
like
right down.
It's one of those things, because before I was one of the guys that was like, let's do it. Let's have a show. Let's have a show. Let's have a show. Let's have a show. Now having it, getting it, I get it, I get why we can't. I get why, it's such a big deal that we don't. And yeah, man. But if it came to matches I wanted to have, I mean, there's tons, like Mark Wheeler, I've never had a full singles match with him. Who else?
I would have thought for sure you two would have crossed paths.
I think we've had like multi-man matches and stuff, but we've never actually got to have singles matches, which sucks. Who's another guy?
You and Bruno definitely got some business to catch up on.
Yeah, me and Bruno. Who else? I could wrestle Juarez all day.
Go buy his sweater. I think he's still got a few more of these bad bitches.
Go buy his sweater.
And they're very comfortable. I'm not even bullshitting. They're extremely comfortable. He didn't cheap out. He did not cheap out. He fucking got the good stuff.
He did not cheap out. Yes, he's a merch machine, that guy. Good man.
I was about to say that he's a swell fella, but he's really not. He's a fucking prick.
He is.
And I love him.
Piece of shit.
And I love him.
Yeah. Yeah. Who else, man? There's
so like think a little bit more like outside of like even Canada, just because like I mean there's obvious answers here, but I mean like like if you had a chance right now, like just to kind of let's just throw 5 names out.
Here's a big one. Here's actually a really big one. I got to do it was like a 6-man tag thing in the States years ago, like when I had no business being in this match, but it was like me, Chris Sabin, and I think it was Petey Williams versus Alex Shelley. Who else was on that team? Nate Matson and like somebody else. But it was like it was the amount of people I had in that match that I would love to work with now is just insane. Like a singles match with Petey or Sabin or Shelley or like any of those guys now to really show like what I can do, I think would be pretty big in the States. It'd be crazy.
I've tried to get you Petey a couple of times. I've had Jeff try to reach out for me, and it just unsuccessful on all attempts.
We did a little bit, like I've got to do the scramble stuff with him and stuff in Impact, but not one-on-one singles. I think we tear it up.
I don't know if you know this or not. I tried to get you Sabin once.
That's like the biggest dream match ever, and I know he's down to do it. He wants to do it. So I mean, it's another one of those things, man.
In hindsight, I guess I understand why now it didn't happen, just because he didn't want to come back to wrestling, obviously, until he was on TV, which I completely respect. Like,
yeah,
because I don't know for a fact if his knee was okay for like a little while before he got back to TV, or if like he just got back to TV once his knee was okay. But like, I mean, I tried to, like once every 6 months or so, I usually just shoot him a message just to say what's up. And sometimes he replies, sometimes he doesn't. I get it. People are busy. But I shot him a message after his knee surgery. And then the next thing I knew, I shot him a message like a couple of months later. And then it was like the next day, it was announced that like he was coaching at the Performance Center. So I messaged him back and I was just like, oh, hey, congrats.
Yeah.
And
he He was actually my favorite wrestler. He's one of the first dudes that I watched like outside of the WWE bubble when I was younger.
Same.
He's who, yes.
He kind of bridged that gap to independent wrestling for me.
And here in Windsor, obviously him being trained at the same place I am, there was a little bar here that there were shows at. So Saban was the main event most of the time. So it was me and my buddies would go to the bar and everything and watch Saban. It'd be like Saban versus Shelley or Saban versus Kazarian. Dylan's, it was called. Yes.
That's it. I think I wrestled there. I think I wrestled there once.
You probably did.
Because I wrestled at a bar for Border City back in the day. I traveled up with Ruffy Silverstein one time.
100%, bro. Yeah.
And
I was probably there.
I ended up wrestling Chris Chambers.
Yeah, I was probably there.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. That's some good times at that place. That was a good time.
Well, I mean, with my experience, I feel like everything Border City did was just like good times.
Yeah, man. Even like growing up, like I used to like my dad would bring me here. I lived in Wallaceburg. It's like just a small town.
Shout out to Wallaceburg, Grossy, Jesse Gross, my old roommate.
Shout out to Wallaceburg, man. Yeah, we'd come up here for shows. So I'd see dudes like Gangrel and stuff all the time. Barry Horowitz. Friggin' good times, man. Good times.
Did you I feel like you have a Barry Horowitz story. Do you have a Barry Horowitz story?
I do have a Barry Horowitz story.
What is your Barry Horowitz story?
So I'm like this little kid. I'm like nervous. And we go to BCW and it was like $20 for Polaroid. So I'm like, okay. So I'm waiting in line, which in hindsight, the guy taking the picture was Jeffrey Scott. So I'm like this little 8-year-old. And like, he's like, all right, kid, come here. And he goes to like put his arm around me. And I'm thinking he's gonna like, just put his arm around me. This guy like puts me in a shoot headlock, bro. Like locks the hands, man. So like in the picture, I still have it. You can find it online somewhere. Like I'm like literally like jaw twisted. Like so Barry Horowitz put me in a headlock, but it was, he was super nice to me. But like, but then years later, I post a picture online and he actually, he commented on it and said he'd like to take a current picture one day, which was pretty cool, man. I was quite excited about that.
And he's just like, I got this new headlock technique I gotta show.
So I was gonna say, so my plan is when I see him to say, want to take a picture and then throw the shoot headlock. That's do the old shoulder tap on him. That's
tremendous.
Man.
Tremendous.
Good time.
All right. So Princey, we threw some questions out there and we're gonna go to some. So I've got 4 questions here on from the old Instagrammer, and then I got a couple on the Facebook that I still got to go and double check here. So
here we go.
All right. So the first one comes from one crossbody pro wrestling heavyweight champion, Holden Albright.
Oh no. Oh no.
What do you believe? Actually, I'll sorry, just read it. What does he believe in his biggest stumbling block to advance to his next level? I believe what he's asking is, what do you believe is your biggest stumbling block to advance to the next level?
Ooh. I think, that's a good one. I think
fucking steroids, brother.
Damn, I think it might be steroids. That's a very, you know what? Hold on. I want to
No, shut up. Shut up. No, that's the wrong answer.
I want to think on that question. So let's do some more, but I will think on that one. That's
okay. So that's Family Feud. We're gonna
go back to that.
We're gonna go back. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to that one.
Okay, so the next question comes from the band The Hawkeyes account. I'm assuming that this comes from Stacy, but it's from the Hawkeyes account. So this could be the entire fucking 37-piece band that they've got.
The 37-piece band.
Their question is how often does he use his Hawkamania mug?
Literally, probably every day. Every day or every other day. And here's why. Because it's a good-sized mug.
Very good size mug.
Regular coffee mug,
It's bullshit.
Any regular coffee mug is bullshit. Like, it's not enough, you know. So that one there, it's holding about 2 cups. So yep, almost every day.
Yeah, regular coffee mug is kind of like your grandma's coffee, you know, like she can only handle so much, and you respect to grandma. But I mean, like, listen, I got shit to do.
Yeah.
I gotta drink some goddamn Java. You know what I mean? So
exactly. I think that's I love that mug. Great mug,
dude. It's so good. I've got 3 rotating mugs. I've got my Hawkamania mug. I've got my RJ City mug, and then I've got my my little Traveler Wayne Gretzky mug. So
you have the RJ mug?
I do. I had to treat myself. Mug. Yeah.
Jeez, man.
The next question is from one of our regular fans from Crossbody, and I you know what, one of our regular supporters. I kind of, it's weird. I hate the term fans nowadays, but
I don't like it.
They're our supporters, and thank you very much. Maddie Howell wants to know who your favorite wrestlers are, past, current, and future. I don't know if
let's throw in future. We're throwing in future. I like future. I like
Cody
future.
Rhodes' kid.
Yeah, that's what
Cody
I mean.
Rhodes' kid's gonna fucking tear the business.
Cody Rhodes' new dog.
That's a cute little shit, that dog, though.
It is, man. It is.
Okay, so let's start with past. So, like, when you were growing up, who was your favorite?
Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Brian Pillman, and of course, Hulk Hogan. But who else? Texas Tornado. Man, I could go all day with old school guys. You'll get me going. But yeah, we'll say that's the top ones.
Okay, so you're current.
Who is my current? It's always going to be, dudes like Finn Balor. AJ Styles is still doing his thing. Ricochet, obviously. Will Ospreay's the king still. Who else? Yeah, I haven't been watching much current stuff, to be honest. It's more I'm into my old stuff, man.
Yeah. That's the thing for me is I don't really watch a lot of the current stuff either right now, to be honest.
And I'll be honest, man. It's like I'm a bitter guy. It's just me, so it's like I hate seeing it the way it is right now. It's heartbreaking. Like I want to see our people and stuff like that, right? So that part of it can be frustrating to watch sometimes. So the current stuff, it's but yeah.
The next question comes from Sir Ryan Koverick, who makes us all look fucking great, and we appreciate you, Sir Ryan Koverick. This is kind of a bullshit lobby up question, but you know what? I want you to. I'm gonna make Kobe's life a little bit hell on this one.
All right, good.
Take the crossbody ring out of it, because I know that's what he's going for on this question. What is your favorite ring to perform in?
Ooh, dude, you know what? Honestly, it's our ring here in Windsor.
Mm-hmm.
But not. Let's. You know what? It's also our previous ring. Do you remember that ring?
Didn't you have the old WCW ring is the one that you have now?
Yes. No, so the one we have now is like a very nice, like it's the ring that Impact uses and stuff. So it's a really nice ring. But before this ring, we did have an old WCW ring, which was it sucked to train in, but like when it came to shows, like I'm talking these ropes, you could like jump, like springboard and just land no hands, and they were so stiff and sturdy that like you just didn't move, or like any kind of front handsprings or anything like that. But the bump on it was the bump of like, honestly, like a high school gym mat floor. Like it was rough. That ring, like to train in, like made me into a man. Like I don't.
I remember those ropes being like really condensed. Like they were kind of shorter, but then there was only like maybe fucking less than a foot apart from them.
And you know what? It was super heavy. Like the corner post, you literally needed almost 3 people to carry the corner post. And the beams on them were just these massive, but there was no ring like that ring. Like that, amazing. Like amazing. Not to mention its history was cool too, you know.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah.
Absolutely. So the next question. So now we're busting into the Facebook questions here.
Here we go.
All right. So our boy James Weber, Sir Chops, wants to know what was your biggest struggle moving from Windsor to Ottawa?
The
moving back honestly, part.
It was on. Yeah. No, you know what? In all seriousness, it partially was. I think the hardest part of it was getting there and it not being able to be the plan that it was supposed to be.
Yeah,
like I had.
You basically moved to Ottawa and then the world was like, yeah, fuck all of your plans.
Exactly. Like I did that crossbody show and I was on my way there. So it was like, and then everything shut down. So it was like the hardest part of it was it not being able to be the plan that it was supposed to be. I had a lot to do and it got shut down, and unfortunately, you know, things didn't work out. I'm back now, but I mean, you never know what happens in the future, you know? So.
Exactly. You know, that's the one thing that, like, I mean, I think I was saying this to you, G, like the entire time. It's just like we can't even plan for a week ahead at this point, just because literally things have been changing on a daily basis.
Yeah. So, and I think that was the thing, you know. It was like I had to realize, you know, the plan is out the window and I need to live a little more day to day than I was. And you know, if I get the pleasure of living that life again, then sweet. But if not, I gotta be ready for the next day, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tyson Moore, I don't think this is a question.
No.
It's Tyson Moore says he has COVID, I heard.
He's not lying, right? He's well, not Tyson Moore. He knows.
I'm going to reply back to him and just say, who's your source?
Who's your source?
No, I'm not going to do that. But yes.
I do have covered those, but you know, that's all right.
I mean, hell of a statement. And I'm glad that we covered that. Justin Gilmette. I always wonder if I'm pronouncing his name right, by the way.
Maybe.
I'm probably not.
Send us a voice clip.
Send us a voice clip. What do you like most about graphic design? You were very talented, but where does your artistic spark come from? This dick.
Possibly, but I think honestly it comes from being a wrestling fan. You know, I'm a fan, so I've been watching, you know, every pay-per-view graphic, every poster, you know, and that's something I always paid attention to when I was younger, was the logos. And
you start to learn what catches your eye and what doesn't, right?
Yeah, like every pay-per-view I would get excited if the No Mercy logo changed, or if like WrestleMania, I was always excited to see what the WrestleMania logo was going to look like. So I think just being a wrestling fan and loving that side of things, kind of, I'm able to vision, you know, what I would want a pay-per-view to look like, or things like that. And I take a lot of inspiration from, you know, other wrestling artists and stuff as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good question.
Oh, very good question. The next question, hang on one second. Is from new author Sarah Roberts Smith. Go get her book on Amazon. It is only.
I did not know about this. Good for her.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's called Why She Chose Life. I have not read it yet. I've been extremely busy, so I have not had time to pick it up yet. But this is what it looks like.
Good for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's Sarah Roberts Smith, and you can go and find this on Amazon, and it's only. I think that cost me $13 with shipping. So go and support a young author. And she's one of the crossbody pro wrestling, very hardworking crossbody pro wrestling students. wants to know, moving forward into 2021, there's a lot of unknown: wrestling, lockdowns, jobs. No matter what are some of your goals or aspirations to make 2021 your bitch and to make it a good year? Do you have any positive or uplifting advice for others struggling through it at the moment?
Good question. I think, like a lot of people, the pandemic, especially wrestlers, the pandemic kind of gives you a real reality check. So, I mean, my whole life has always been, I don't care what happens after this because I have wrestling and I'm going to focus on wrestling and I'm going to 100% do that. So I think for a long time, I focused a lot on AidenPrince, not so much on Mike, the real dude. Right. So,
yeah.
I think 2021 for me is going to be a little bit more about, focusing on my own mental health, my own personal growth, where I'm at in my life and how I can evolve that way, like I did in wrestling, if that makes sense. You know, I just like, you know, like everybody else that has had a little bit of success, you know, we start low and then we work hard to like build our way up to that top point. And I think I neglected personal life stuff for quite a long time. So I think 2021, you know, it's like if you look really deep in the mirror and stuff and you really look at who you really are as a person, not so much a wrestler, you know, there's growth for me there. So I think that's my focus in 2021 is personal growth, you know?
And what advice would you give to somebody like her who's, or not like her, just through anybody that's, that might be struggling?
I mean, I think right now it's important to, you know, cherish the real relationships that you have in your life, you know, like your true friends and stay in touch with people, you know, like I know me, I at one point didn't like to be out in public and stuff. And I worked really hard to be able to become that person and get out in public and stuff. And when I stay inside quite a bit and stuff, it's easy for me to personally shut down a little bit. So I think it's important to like, maintain your like personal relationships with people. So just make sure you're calling people and, you know, we're all in the same boat, you know, like in me, for example, right now I'm stuck up inside and it's easy to think like everybody forgot about me in here. So, you know, just make sure you're reaching out to people because there might be a dude like me that just saying what's good, bro, or how you doing, man? Like that literally makes my day. You know what I mean? I don't. So, I mean, you don't know what you're. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but
no,
just reach out to your friends, you know? Yeah. Reach out to your friends. You know, you never know who just needs a what's up or I'm thinking about you. You know what I mean? That's yeah.
Absolutely.
Very good question though.
Our buddy Brady Wedham wants to know, how is Bob and when he coming to my home?
Oh my God. Listen, man, I want him to have that thing. I really do. Like it's
explain
so for
those who don't know. Yeah. For everybody who has no fucking clue what we're talking about.
Yeah. So I have this little pop figure. It's like, I thought it was Bob Marley. It's not Bob Marley. It's some little guy. No, it's some little guy named Reggae Rasta. This is like, that's the name of the pop figure. So it's not even an official Bob Marley at all.
I thought it was.
Yeah. But for some reason, this freaking pop figure is worth a lot of money. Like $300 and something is a lot of money. Like it's silly.
And we have to preface
I had no idea. Brady
is a very, very avid toy collector.
Okay. So yes, so I had no idea. I've had this thing kicking on the top of my fucking wrestling bucket of toys for ever. So Jeffrey Scott is who actually noticed it and was like, yo, bro, that toy. So then I told Brady, and now this man just wants this not even Bob figure. So I don't even but I definitely want him to have it. So I will make sure.
It's not even Bob figure. All right, I got a couple more questions and then we'll wrap it up. Just because part of this new format is I got to try to keep these shows to within an hour, so then that way people might even fucking watch a whole episode.
Good luck.
And might come back and do another.
Yeah.
Who fucking knows? All right. Sir Christopher Tidwell wants to know, what's your favorite color of lingerie?
Strange question. I don't know. Purple. Anyway.
A bit of a strange question, but you know what? Some people are into what they're into, and
that's his thing, you know.
That's the question that he decided to fucking drop on us.
Next question.
Emily Jarvis wants to know, why wasn't he in Wham? I'm assuming that. Listen, I'm gonna claim youth on this one because I know Wham is a band. I feel like there is a connection with Prince and Wham potentially. I could be completely fucking off, but that's my what's left of my youth is thinking that might be
that what she's.
But I don't fully understand the question, so
I don't know.
We'll go to the next one, but thank you very much for the question, Emily. You won't ever watch this, but I appreciate you asking.
If you do, subscribe.
Please subscribe to the channel. Yes, and go and follow Aiden and go buy his fucking t-shirt.
No one's buying my shirts, man.
I'm trying, bro. I just screamed at people and everything.
I appreciate it.
If being nice doesn't cut it, you got to try bullying people. Buy his fucking shirts.
Yeah.
Let's see how it works for wears the sweaters. Tomer Shalom.
Yes.
Has a question. He wants to know. Yes. He says, how did he get such a big following on IG? Any tips to an amateur like me?
Oh my God. So I'm going to tell the story now.
What a piece of shit.
I can tell the story. I don't know if you know this story.
I don't know, but I love Tomer so fucking much and I can't wait to hear this story.
So me and Tomer are in the locker room at Destiny talking. Okay. And I had just been on this like kick of watching like, you know, Gary Vee and like all these like different like social media influencers on how they build their followings and like all this shit. So me and Tomer, So me and Tomer are going back and forth having this like really like intense conversation about how to grow our followings. And like Tomer's like, you know, Tomer says to me, he's like, dude, you walked away. And I thought, you know, like Princey must have like a good following, you know? He looks up. I have like at the time, I think I have like 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
Do you know how many followers that motherfucker has?
A lot.
From making memes with his silly head cut around and put on.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess 25,000.
So, dude. It's big. The man kills it on Instagram. So then the next time we see each other, he fucking calls me out on it. And we laugh so hard. And then like ever since then, now he gets me with the joke every once in a while. But like he's like, dude, you did a good job selling it. Like you.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Great. Oh, I fucking miss that guy, man. Man. You know what though? In all seriousness, Tomer Shalom is one of the hardest working motherfuckers I have ever met in my life. When it comes to, you know, when it comes to helping with the ring and, you know, helping with the show and setup and stuff, his ring work, the total shit. But like, I'm kidding.
Hold on a second, babe. God damn it. Cut that part out.
I love you, Tomer. I'm just kidding. Kidding. But...
Tomer definitely, I don't know what it is, but like, Tomer definitely needs to be more places.
Dude, you do when I get to a show and see Tomer and they're literally
it's gonna be a good day. Right, yes, he's one of those dudes where when you see him, I'm gonna put him up there with like the Brodies, where I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say a bad word about Tomer.
No,
and if they do, then I might actually take issue with that because that dude literally is one of the hardest working dudes I've ever.
He really is, man. He's a great guy. Great guy.
Yeah. Hilarious too. And yeah, for anybody that's watching this, go and follow him. Even though the motherfucker has way more followers.
Follow
than
him.
Me. You know what? Go and unfollow him and then make another account and then follow the two of us.
Yeah, that's how you do it. I think he's paying for his following. I don't know.
Oh, that's chucking big boots at Tomer.
That's a thing.
Holy,
that's a thing, Tomer. I'm on to you, bud.
That's some stiff shit. All right, Princey, where can we find you on social media and Pro Wrestling Tees? Even though I've said this like fucking 600 times already.
I know my Pro Wrestling Tees is /Aiden, prowrestlingtees.com/AidenPrince. Just search AidenPrince on Twitter, Facebook, everything else. I am on there. Not to be confused with the little dancing child. Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That like, so there's this kid. His name is AidenPrince, and he's on YouTube. He's on everything else. He's been on Ellen. The kid beat me to Ellen. But yeah,
well, you know the old rule, Princey. If they get it to TV first, it's theirs.
Get the right AidenPrince, man. Get the right Aiden.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that's gonna. Do you got anything else that you wanna say before we fucking finish this up, or?
Nah, man. I appreciate all the love, guys. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Now, that's gonna wrap it up for this edition of the Big Ben and Friends podcast. I am again your host, Big Ben Ortmanns. You can find the show on Twitter and Instagram. Go and follow us at Big Ben AF Podcast, as well as you can go and like us and follow us on Facebook by just searching Big Ben and Friends podcast. You can find us on YouTube. Hopefully that's where you're watching us right now, just by searching Big Ben and Friends podcast. Or you can just go to youtube.com/Big Ben AF podcast. As we do have that as well. Please hit that subscribe button, and that way you'll get notifications when episodes like this just start to randomly drop again after fucking off for about 2 months or so. You can also find us on Spotify as well. Go and subscribe to us on there as well if you can, because that'd be kind of neat to get those numbers up as well. You can find me personally on all of my social medias at Big Ben is Angry. You can go and follow Crossbody Pro Wrestling and the Crossbody Pro Wrestling Academy social medias, all one place at CBPW Academy. And you can also subscribe to the YouTube page, which we just dropped the Go Hard Pro Universal fucking hell holiday Christmas special or holiday special. I don't know if I'm allowed to say Christmas, but I just dropped the Go Hard Pro special that Holden Albright just fucking put together with a lot of talented individuals.
Hold on. Holden Albright's question.
Oh shit!
I thought about it. Okay, I thought about it, and I have it figured out.
All right, where are we at?
I have it figured out. I think one of my biggest things, my biggest like hurdles and everything is getting my ass over to the States. Could you imagine seeing me at like a GCW or like a CZW, like all those sweet US promotions that are killing it? I think AAW, like imagine me over there. I think if I could tear it up over there the way I've been tearing it up over here, that there it is. Thank you, Holden Albright. Thank you.
You know what match I want to see now that you say that?
What?
You said GCW, right? I think that would be kind of neat. So yeah. I think personally, because you are such a Hulk Hogan fan,
yeah,
that you need to go and defend his honor.
I know.
Against
no.
Against the guy who is just absolutely disgracing.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
the legacy of Hulk Hogan.
No.
AidenPrince versus Nick fucking Gage.
And on that note,
let's see that shit. Hang on, I'm not done with the plugs. You cut me off. You can find us on independentwrestling.tv and use the code CROSSBODY to get 5 free days, where you can go and see honestly one of my favorite matches that nobody really talks about ever, but is a goddamn gem, which is AidenPrince versus Psycho Mike. Oh my god, it's right. And last but not least, you can support Crossbody Pro Wrestling and our amazing wrestlers and our staff, such as AidenPrince, because he gets a chunk of the shirts that we sell that he designs at prowrestlingtees.com/crossbodyprowrestling. All the proceeds go to they get split between the wrestler and the staff that has done all that stuff together. And I'm not going to lie, we haven't sold a shirt in a while. So go buy one and help support a brother. This is where I'm going to ask one last time. You got any final comments before we fucking bounce, or what?
We're good, brother. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
I appreciate you doing this, and hopefully we'll be back with another episode, and hopefully I don't ghost again for another few months.
Yeah, buddy.
See you all again soon.